only 5% of the seas and oceans have been explored. It's hard to say what types of creatures could be living on or around the ocean and sea floors of the planet. Exploring the oceans is a dangerous and almost seemingly impossible job. There are many dangerous places in the ocean, and the ocean itself is unpredictable. However, there are places and formations even more mysterious. The Mariana Trench is one such place. It's known as the deepest part of the world's vast oceans, which means there are likely very strange creatures living here in the deep. Join us as we take a look at 5 scariest creatures caught at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Alien-like jellyfish. There are all kinds of different jellyfish that live in the seas and oceans all over the world. However, deep in the Marianas Trench, there's a jellyfish that looks just like an alien spacecraft. With Marianas Trench being so deep, creatures that live down in these waters have to rely on things such as bioluminescence in order to catch prey or see where they're going in the deep, as it's impossible for sunlight to reach the ocean floor here. Marine scientists using a remotely operated vehicle, or ROV, made a dive to the deepest part of the world's oceans, east of the Mariana Islands near Guam into the Mariana Trench, and were exploring a place called the Enigma Seamount, which is aptly named because of the lack of information that scientists have on the place. That is when scientists came upon this alien-looking thing. Videos of the jellyfish captured a stunning sight. This strange alien organism sported 2 different sets of tentacles, one long and one short that extended from its pulsating bell. When the long set of tentacles extended outward, the jellyfish's bell remained still. This was likely because the jellyfish was found to be an ambush predator. Even more interesting was that the inside of the bell resembled a flying saucer that housed red canals that seemed to connect to bright yellow orbs. After looking at the jellyfish, scientists identified the creature as belonging to the genus Crusata. These strange-looking jellyfish were found at a depth of 12,100 feet, or about 3,700 meters, deep. This all happened on April 24, 2016 during a deep water exploration of the Marianas Trench, which was a 3-cruise expedition. It was during this dive that scientists found this creature and many other fascinating features of the underwater mountain that has been named the Enigma Seamount. When looking at this creature on video, it seems almost unreal, but the crystal clear video of the creature is in fact very real and untouched. The interesting thing is that some estimates say we haven't even discovered 99.99% of the Earth's 1 trillion species. With that said, the odds of us seeing something like this alien creature are very high, and perhaps the majority of the unexplored creatures we have yet to find live in the vast deep of the world's oceans. Number 4. Dragonfish. There's a creature that lives deep in the Marianas Trench, sometimes known as barbelled dragonfish or deep-sea dragonfish, that can open their mouths at least 120 degrees. This allows the dragonfish to open its mouth extremely wide and eat much larger prey relative to the size of their own bodies. In the Marianas Trench, in the dark, deep ocean, food is very scarce. These barbelled dragonfish are ambush predators who lie in wait for their prey, much like most spiders that spin a web and wait for their prey to become ensnared. This is advantageous for them because less energy is used in searching for food, and because food or prey is scarce, it's also an advantage to be able to swallow a much larger size of prey. That is why the head joint of the dragonfish facilitates swallowing larger items. The barbelled dragonfish are quite unique, and researchers have studied a lot of different other fish and have never seen anything like the head joint of these deep ocean dragonfish. Researchers determined when the fish is in a resting position, a flexible rod running to the top of the fish's vertebral column has an additional sheath that embraces the back of the head like a socket. When the fish opens its mouth, the bottom part of this rod is exposed, and the sheath gets stretched out. When looking at the fish, you can clearly see that it has many sharp teeth, but these teeth don't actually break up food into tiny bits like other predators. In fact, the dragonfish swallows its prey whole. And since the teeth aren't made for chewing, they instead hold on to the prey and actually pass it to the dragonfish's stomach. Once the dragonfish swallows large prey, such as another fish, its stomach can expand, which makes the predator look somewhat like a snake that's just just swallowed a much larger victim. The dragonfish can be found at depths between 1,640 and about 5,000 feet below the water's surface. Because of this, they pose no threat to humans. The thing is that few other animals on land or sea can open their mouth as wide as the dragonfish. Number 3. Black Sea Devil Anglerfish. It's kinda hard not to believe in aliens, especially when you see this next deep-sea creature. And who knows, these actually might be aliens from another world who are hiding in the completely different world from our own. And some of these creatures seem to be the stuff of nightmares. One such creature is called the Black Sea Devil, who was caught on film for the first time in 2014. The fish is very scary looking and has a wide gaping mouth, some needle-sharp teeth, and it has a glowing thing on the top of its head, something like a fishing pole, with a little light on the end to attract other fish, right into its hungry mouth. The Black Sea Devil is about 3.5 inches long, or about 9 centimeters, and lives at depths of around 1,900 feet, or 580 meters deep. These rare creatures have never been seen up close. However, scientists were able to capture the creature and bring it up to the surface alive, which was no easy feat. There's very little known about the Black Sea Devils. In fact, scientists aren't even sure how long these fish live. However, there are some things that are known about sea devils. One of those things is that the males are actually parasites. The female Black Sea Devil fish can grow to about the size of a baseball. The male of the species is much smaller, which is common in the animal and insect kingdom, and are not able to exist on their own for a long time. With that said, the male Black Sea Devil has to find a female as soon as possible before it dies. When it does find a female, it bites onto the female and their tissues fuse. During this time, the male provides what he needs while the female sustains him. The fish mate, and the male then dies. When looking for this fish in the depths of the ocean, some female Black Sea Devil fish have been seen with as many as 11 males clinging to them. That sounds about right. And even though these fish might seem incredibly ugly, these animals are actually well adapted for their cold and dark environment. Number 2. Frilled Shark. It's been said that there are probably still prehistoric creatures that are living on the planet, and if that is true, then the frilled shark is one good example of this. In fact, this shark has been called a living fossil that has probably been swimming around Earth's deep water since the era of the dinosaurs. Frilled sharks are odd-looking creatures that have a rounded body of an eel but have a flat head. But the interesting thing about this deep water shark is that it has rows of 3-pointed teeth that hold its prey. It was deep-sea fishermen who spotted this snake-like shark in a pile of fish that they had unintentionally caught. The shark ended up dying, but the fishermen were so surprised by what they had found that they ended up handing the dead sea creature over to a research vessel so that scientists aboard the ship could study the bizarre, odd-looking creature. This gave scientists a rare opportunity and a close-up look at the shark, in which they found it had those 300 3-pointed teeth, which it would obviously use to grab and kill its prey. No other shark on the planet has teeth like the frilled shark. Incidentally, the frilled shark is called the living fossil because it's one of the last seen sharks because of the depths in which it lives. These creatures eat squid, cuttlefish, octopus, and even other sharks. However, it's believed that their diet consists of more than 60% of marine mollusks. One creature was dissected and the contents of the shark's stomach were slippery, showing that its teeth were perfect for holding onto and devouring the flesh of their prey. A frilled shark's mouth is able to open larger than other sharks because its mouth continues to the rear of its head instead of ending beneath its skull. At the end of its throat, there's an area that has 6 frilled gills from which it gets its name from. The body of the frilled shark is nearly indistinguishable from a common eel, with the exception of its fins. And although their bodies are similar to an eel, they likely attack their prey in the same manner as a snake. There's no actual footage or anyone that's actually witnessed one of these sharks hunting or eating, so the way that they catch and eat their prey is merely speculation. Number 1. Zombie worms. Anything with the term zombie in it really gets people's attention, and the zombie worm will probably be no exception. Otherwise known as bone worms, the zombie worm lives on the sea floor, and they feed on dead and decaying organisms. Actually, these creatures are known to feed only on the bones or skeletons of any sea creature that has died and whose bones have sunk to the bottom of the ocean. They have a bizarre look and resemble hot pink feathers and can be found in very large groups. The weird thing is that they do not have any mouth, but instead drill into the skeletons of dead creatures. They then release an acid that breaks down the bone so that they can absorb the fat from inside. At this point, the symbiotic bacteria living inside of the worm's bodies digests the fat and protein released from inside of the bone. Also known as Osedax worms, once they've eaten and broken down the skeletons of a dead whale or other fish, they simply die without leaving a trace. These Osedax could be called ecosystem engineers because they're creatures that can create, transform, and even destroy their habitats. The interesting thing about these zombie worms is that they actually modify their ecosystem by digesting the sunken bones. This 1 to 3 inch or 2 to 7 centimeter long worms were first discovered on the deep sea floor living inside the bones of a rotting gray whale in 2002. And if all this stuff isn't strange enough, it was found that only the female zombie worms were the ones doing the drilling, and that the males actually live inside the female. In one study, 111 males were found inside of a single female zombie worm. It's like a Japanese school dance. Hope you enjoyed the video, Top 5ers. If you haven't already, check out our other channel, Americano, to enjoy even more amazing list videos. There'll be a link in the description, so check it out, as well as our other cool stuff.